Now, some other folks would say, well, life, I think life begins before birth, but I don't think it's as early as fertilization. I think it's when you begin to have blood. And again, there's scripture that some folks would attempt to use for that. And this is it here. They say, whatever man of the house of Israel or of the strangers who dwell among you who eats any blood, I will set my face against that person who eats blood and will cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make atonement for your souls, for it is the blood that makes atonement for the soul. Therefore I said to the children of Israel, no one among you shall eat blood, nor shall any stranger who dwells among you eat blood. Whatever man of the children of Israel or of the strangers who dwell among you who hunts and catches any animal or bird that may be eaten, he shall pour out its blood and cover it with dust. For it is the life of all flesh, its blood sustains its life. Therefore I said to the children of Israel, you shall not eat the blood of any flesh, for the life of all flesh is its blood. Whoever eats it shall be cut off. So some people try to use this passage to say, well, that's when life begins, when blood comes into the embryo. Well, first of all, these passages are talking about the sacrificial system, not when life begins. That's kind of the easiest thing here. Secondly, if they are discussing when life begins, there's no indication they're referring to human life. Right? We're talking about animals that are sacrificed or birds, things that are caught while hunting. We're not talking about human life. Third, if these passages are teaching anything about physical life, they're teaching when it ends. They're teaching when life ends, when the blood goes out of something, when the blood leaves these animals. Next, even if they are talking about when life begins, then they're teaching that things without blood do not have life. And I don't think that's what it's saying. There are things like squid or spiders that don't have blood, that have other kinds of fluid. Or there's things like jellyfish or amoebas or other things that everyone would agree are alive that don't have any blood or fluid like that at all. And then, again, this passage is not saying that those things don't have life. If it's saying anything physical, it's saying that these things that do have blood lose their life, right, when they lose their blood. This is why it clarifies and it says, its blood sustains its life. Right? It's the blood that sustains the life of those things that have blood. Its blood is identified with its life, the New American Standard says. Fifth, if blood is simply a means to transfer oxygen and nutrients throughout the body, as we've already talked about, the new human has that from fertilization. Moreover, all of the DNA for blood is there from the moment of fertilization, and the mother's blood indirectly helps to provide nutrients to the baby, even from the moment of fertilization. Next, what God is doing here, what's happening here is God's describing that the blood makes atonement because by losing it, the sacrifice dies. This symbolizes that the life was given to God, right? If we eat the blood, we're polluting that symbol. We're perverting that symbol. We're taking something that belongs to God, which is this life that we've just sacrificed. That's what's really going on here, the sacrificial system, not an argument that God's making about when life begins. So again, to sum it up, there's nothing in this passage that would indicate that humanity does not begin until blood is physically pumping through a person's body. Now, I know I kind of jumped off the science there for a minute, but I wanted to deal with those two controversies because there's, I think, even well-meaning Christian people who sometimes fall into those opinions.